Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Abiola Koke. Oh, okay. Abiola, yeah. How you doing? So I guess we've resolved the problem.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Arinze.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Looks like we
Hello,
resolved
sir.
the issue. Damilare.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Eden. Good. We resolved the
Hello,
issue.
sir.
So I upgraded. I'm sorry, I should have. I haven't had this kind of crowd on WhatsApp before. I mean, on Zoom before, so I wasn't sure what I needed to do. But we are good now. So, all right. So welcome to class. Are we ready for Linux training?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. How many people do we have from Nigeria here? How many people are joining from Nigeria?
I'm joining from Nigeria.
One. Please.
Yeah, I'm also
Just-
joining from Nigeria.
Okay, not so many. So let's just say maybe 10-20% of the class joining from Nigeria. Okay, one person raised hand.
Okay, I'm
All
also
right.
joining from Nigeria.
So depending on the number of people joining from Nigeria, there may be a different arrangement to reduce the size of class and to help assimilation and interaction between trainer and trainee. All right, but we're not sure yet, so let's just go on with training. All right, so what am I sharing? Let's share screen. All right, so you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then, looks good. All right, we are good to go. All right, so you can see my white screen. So
Yes, sir.
this course is Cloud Servers Administration. All right, that idea was actually from one of you. Ordinarily, the name Linux System Administration is more common. So whether we call it Linux System Administration or we call it Client Server Administration is the same thing. The curriculum is the same. And essentially, we are learning how to operate servers and the command, the language for interacting with servers in order to tell servers what to do. Am I recording? It's called Linux operating system. Let me just make sure we're recording.
Yes. I
Yeah,
think
we're
it's recording. Yes.
All right. So we are learning Linux operating system so that we're able to manage IT servers, whether those IT servers are based in cloud or off cloud. So in this course, I'll be teaching you by myself, even though I have trainers that could do this on my behalf. I'll be teaching you by myself. Linux server administration. I'll be covering topics such as, at the end of this training, you should know the following. I'm sorry, I'm allowing people into class while I'm talking. That's why it looks like I'm distracted. So you will learn how to create and add new servers to your networks in cloud. You will learn how to remove and modify resources within existing servers. All right. So if you have a server that is already running in cloud and your supervisor or your company wants to add a new service, you know how to do that from this training. You know how to customize your servers to accept or reject services. For example, you have a server that your company wants to put a website on so that that website will be available to the whole world. When people are browsing from wherever they are in the world, they're able to access that server to see your website. In other words, you want to make that server your web server. You will learn how to do that. All right, you learn how to create and manage users that would have access to the server. The fact that you have a server does not mean that every Tom, Dick, and Harry will be able to access that server. All right, you should be able to block some ports so that even though people are able to access the server, they are not able to access particular services through some ports. I'll tell you what ports are. All right, or completely deny some people access to the servers. All right, you'll be able to do all of this. That's what we call creating and managing user accounts in Linux. All right, I'll show you how to prepare and equip servers for specific roles. Like I already said, it could be that you want to make that server a database server, or you want to make it a web server. You learn how to do that. All right, and then I'll show you how to connect to servers remotely, so that when they say there's a problem in Nigeria and you are IT consultant in the US, you don't have to travel to Nigeria to go and fix that problem. You can remotely log into the Nigerian server and resolve that issue as if you were there. All right. So we will learn how to SSH into servers and configure servers. We have learned how to open and block ports and so many things. I just wanted to give you an overview, a peep into the possible things you'll be able to do at the end, or maybe 2 weeks into this training, you'll be able to do most of this task that I mentioned. All right. And again, I'm deliberately mentioning them in layman's language so that you understand. We are speaking normal English. By the time I explain the vocabularies, the technical terms that we should be using in place of these normal languages, then you'll be in a better position to understand further. All right. So completing this training, watching the video all over again, and then getting support where there is need to, because it is not automatic that because I have done it in class and you watch, therefore you'll be able to do it. You may have issues and then you want to come back to me specifically to say, I was trying to do that thing you did in class, but it wasn't successful. That's what you call it. And then that's what we call support. And then knowing, I think this is the most important of all, knowing where to find help, where to find commands that you will need in operations that are not necessarily described or used in details in class. All right, how to search for resources, access these resources, and use them to perform your tasks, whether in cloud or outside of cloud. All right, all of these will be packaged together outside class. So first of all, this training is free of charge. I'm not going to charge you 1 kobo for coming to class, doing your video if you want to, doing whatever you can, taking your questions in class and covering the whole of Linux certification curriculum, no fee. However, if you require my services outside of class, for example, in terms of supporting you, in terms of giving you access to the recorded videos, in terms of giving you a comprehensive 50-page manual and other little materials that you need to reduce your own task and homework so that you can focus on learning, then I'll have to charge a little fee, maybe $100, like some of you already know, for those extra services. But to come to class, to learn, to ask questions, it is completely free of charge. All right, at least Linux. Linux is free of charge. Now, some of you in class are completely new to IT. I know this because I've been interacting with you, you've been making inquiries, and I know the kind of questions that you have in mind. Where's my, sorry. All right. So, some of you are completely new to IT. So this training will serve as, this thing's going on. I'm sorry. I wish I could just focus on this and forget about people waiting, but I have to let them. All right, so this training would help 3 categories of people. All right, so whether you are completely new to IT, you have not even done Linux before, you don't even know what Linux is, this training is suitable for you because this will serve as an introduction. First of all, what is Linux? It is spelled like that, Linux. It's an operating system. All right, so whether you are completely new to IT, first of all, there's this category of people that are completely new to IT. This is a good training for you to give you an insight into what IT is about. Oh, it's not so difficult after all. Is it just that? Oh, I can do it. Or, oh no, man, I couldn't stand that. It was too hard. IT is not for me. So this training will help you make up your mind if this is something you want to do or not. I know that some of you have friends and relations who are doing six-figure already in IT. They have jobs, six-figure jobs, 100,000, 150,000. All right. And then you are wondering, when would it ever be my turn? Would I also be able to learn this skill and be able to earn this kind of figures? So this training for this category of people is to, again, give you an overview and give you an insight. And hopefully you are able to see that it's not so difficult. If I dedicate the next 2 months, the next 3 months, in some cases, the next 6 months to this is something I can do. And then I can conveniently move away from menial job to six-figure job where I can earn $50, $65, $80, depending on how much of what we learn here you're able to remember. And then, of course, there's this special category of people who have been self-developing themselves. They've been on Udemy, they've been on places trying to learn these things on their own. And they have actually succeeded, partly, but they just need this kind of training to just help them cross the T's and dot the I's and get them ready and certified for this role. For people like that, for this third category of people, then we may say that after this training, they may be able, it is not guaranteed, but they may be able because they already have some basic foundation of IT. They may be able to get jobs as a Linux server administrators. So as Linux server administrator in the US, this training is principally for US people. So Nigerian people, bear with us as we give US examples all of the time. So for people like that, Linux systems administration would bring in an annual pay of about between 50 and 75. I've heard about 71, 72,000 per annum. All right. So if you are looking to taking up a Linux systems administration role after this course, that is the kind of pay that you'll be thinking about. Again, I am not saying that after this training, you qualify. No. Usually, you don't just go through a 1 month training and then come into this kind of please mute yourself. This kind of salary. No. Normally, you put in 4 months, 6 months, 10 months of solid work to gain all of the experiences by practice before you can go out there to say, yes, I'm an IT professional, hire me. And then they will test you. You prove that you are really an IT professional. Have you done this before? Yes. What exactly did you do to do this? Oh, I entered this command, and so on and so forth. All right. So while it is not a promise that you would get a job after this training, if it was that easy, everybody would just go for 3 weeks job training and then go and earn 75,000. Why it is not a promise for everybody? Like I said, people who have been developing themselves and who have some foundation on which to build this might be able to get a job after this training. All right. So in addition to all of that, you are going to learn a lot. By the end of this free 1 month session, even though you would have learned so much, it would only be the beginning of your journey to IT proper. So as much as you would learn, even though we are going to learn so much here, it is just the foundation for IT. As an IT professional, Linux is the foundation. It is your ability to understand, to grasp, to really make sense of what Linux is all about that puts you on the route, on the track to developing a career in IT. All right. So don't be carried away by the fact that at the end of 1 month, you have learned so much. All of that is just the beginning. All right. So that you don't run away at the middle and feel that like somebody learning mechanic, once you can change you can put down battery and swap put a new one in the car, you feel that you are not a mechanic. No, it's not like that. All right. All right. So, however, I and my team of trainers will not be able to provide you with out-of-class room support, like I already said.
I didn't understand that.
What I have done in place of that is I have compiled a step-by-step guide, drawing from so many materials, which I use normally. By the way, I hope you know that this course normally is like at least $600. The class that is currently going on paid $1,500 for this Linux class. All right. So normally this class is not free of charge. But the idea of presenting it free of charge is, first of all, like I already said, to give you an opportunity to determine if IT is right for you, so that you can put your weight and your mind on pursuing a career in IT. All right. So just make it free so that everybody can come in and see for themselves. All right. So to help you realize that, I have compiled a step-by-step implementation guide. I'll tell you this command does this. It will basically be like copying. In fact, that's the same guide I'm going to use to train you, so you would have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. All right. And then we'll make you member of a WhatsApp group. A WhatsApp group, you'll be member of that group, so that when you have issues practicing, take a screenshot of the issue you have, post it on the WhatsApp group, and then we're able to support you to say, oh, this is what you are doing wrong. That is why you're having issues. And then it is this doing something wrong, correcting it, doing something right there, doing that you now build. You put together as your experience on your resume. So that by the time you are not saying in your resume that you can deploy a web server, that you can SSH into a remote server to add storage space, it is not theory. It is because you have actually done it, you've practiced it. And it may not be easy to practice in terms of just doing it the first time and getting it right the first time, but we'll be there to support you, to tell you what you are doing wrong. And then, and then that is how you build your skill to the level where you are now able to go out there to defend what you know. All right. So in addition to the guide and membership of the technical support group, you would also have access to recorded videos, because you may not get it the first time in class, but by the time you look at the video, you watch it over and over, you rewind it. Oh, it makes a lot more sense, and you're able to get it. All right. And then fourthly, because some people may not be, many of you actually will not be going beyond Linux. You just want to grab the free training and withdraw back to your roots. So what we'll do for people like that is give them a certificate of completion of the Linux administration class. But for people that will be moving ahead, that will be going beyond Linux, you will not need a mere paper. You need something more than that. You need the actual certification. All right. So for all of these benefits, which does not, it's optional. It doesn't, I'm not saying that if you don't, this is entirely up to you. If you want all of those benefits, then just a token of $100 is all you need to register, and then we'll add you to that WhatsApp group where we can now put in extra effort to support you. All right. So for USA class, that should not be a problem at all, because I'm sure that some of them have been following me and they know that we're actually charging much. This is completely free. There's no need to compare. However, there are 3 people. I'm not sure if they're in this class. Thomas Otondo, I'm sure he's in Nigeria. I don't know if he's joining us from Nigeria. Thomas Otondo, are you here? Codemin Zaza the Odogu. All right. And then official income. These 3 people, I would allow you to have access to the material without paying a dime. All right. So the scholarship is double scholarship for you. And you know why, of course. Let's not disclose the secrets so that other people don't go take advantage. All right. So for these 3 people, join the US class, and then you can have all of this free of charge. But every other person, you would have to pay a token of $100 to have access to those privileges. But $100 may be small for Nigeria, for US people, but for Nigeria people, that's a lot of money. So what we're going to do for our Nigeria people is, don't bother about the $100. If you are going beyond Linux training, if you are joining us from Nigeria and you are going beyond Linux training all the way to advanced courses, then what we'll do is, as soon as you register for the next course, which is of 50,000, Nigerian courses are different from US courses. US courses is training you for US market, which is very competitive, and therefore we go into details. We go very deep into this concept. So compared to Nigeria training, which is training for the Nigeria market, US is really, really intensive. All right. So what's the point I'm making there? So Nigeria training is different from US training. So if you're in Nigeria and you find by your participation in this training, you find it interesting enough to pursue the real IT courses. Linux is a good IT course, but it's just that it's really very competitive out there that you cannot just know the basic and expect to excel. People know, I mean, there's so much to learn, and people have, especially the Indians, have gone so far ahead to learn these things that they are really readily available and employable. So you want to measure up to that level. You don't just know Linux and feel that you're an IT person. No, even though it's a good foundation and it will help you understand a lot of things, make a lot of things, IT courses easier for you, it is not the end. I think I've emphasized that enough. But the point I'm making here is, for the Nigerian people that would like to continue beyond Linux, we'll now, once you register for the other course, we'll give you the Linux materials that we are charging $100. We'll just give it to you free of charge, because I know that $100 is a lot of money in Nigeria. All right. Again, the training is free. It doesn't say that because you don't have $100 to upgrade to this level, therefore you cannot participate. And by the way, did I type some of these things? All right, bear with me. Now, the USA training would be Mondays and Wednesdays. Mondays and Wednesdays. 6 p.m. Texas time. CST means Central Standard Time. That is Texas time. All right. So people were already logging in at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, telling me, asking if the training was no longer taking place. It's because we were logging in at a different time than CST. So Texas time, Mondays, Wednesdays. Linux will be 2 hours, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. But after you gain that understanding and you become conversant with IT, they will be doing courses we'll be having classes for 3 hours, no longer 2 hours. But for Linux, because you are new, you are babies, we are going to take you just 2 hours a day, 2 days a week. Then the days that you are not in class, you go to the forum and then you ask questions. As you are practicing and you are running into problems, you post your issues on the forum, and then we'll support you. If it requires that we log in to show you around, that is not really frequent, but if sometimes it requires that we hold one-on-one session just to help you get around your issue, then we'll be able to do that. All right. For Nigeria classes, please look at the brochure so that we don't really spend so much time doing that. Look at the brochure and then you see that the Nigeria time, I know that this time is not very convenient for you because it's like 1 a.m. thereabout in Nigeria now. It's not convenient, but I mean, it's free training. And then hopefully you are able to manage with this session. But hereafter, your Nigeria training will be about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Nigeria time. All right. So if you're able to take advantage of this free training and bear with us, even though it's not so convenient, it will be really nice. All right. So USA training will be 6 to, in fact, let me share this with you. Let me share the Word document. Can you see my Word document now?
Yes, you can see.
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, sir.
This is where I've been reading from. So let me just. All right. So that is the Nigeria training. It's different from the USA training. And Nigeria training is just 50,000 naira per month for 3 months. But they are just the basic. compared to what we are doing here. All right. So that is for Nigeria market, and it's good enough for Nigeria market. I already explained that the Nigeria training is not the same as the USA training. The curriculum is basic and it's for local market, it's for Nigeria market. It is delivered by less experienced trainers. I'm not trying to underrate them. They are good, but of course, and they are Nigerian trainers, local. So they would only give you local examples, unlike US where we are dealing with international, so to speak.
Sorry, sir.
Standard. No, please hold on. Don't ask questions. Let me just finish. Put your questions down then, and then we can just look at it again. All right. So for, I hope you know the website. Our website is theITern.com. The iTern. iTern.com. All right. So to register to upgrade to the support class and register for any advanced course in future, it will be theITern.com. And when you get to the iTern.com, in fact, let's go there right away. Let's go to theITern.com so that you see what we're talking about. Doesn't matter whether you write small letter. So ideally, this is where you would find, the course curriculum. But what I have done here, once we are done with class, the video for this class, to watch it, just go here, watch August 1st, that's today, inaugural class. So the video will be available here for everybody. And the reason for this is because we are not all in a WhatsApp group where we can share the link and everybody will have access. So it is either we share it on the website or we share it on Instagram. And because Instagram will not allow you to click and watch, you just come here and watch here. But beyond here, you want to register for example, the upgraded version of $100 where you will now be able to have access. So what you do is you come here. Let me move things around. You come here and say, give me materials for the free training. And then you select that and you register. And then you send me a message on that WhatsApp line. You know the WhatsApp line? This line here. You say, look at my, please mute yourself. Somebody's echoing. You say, look at my proof of payment. I have made payment. Therefore, please add me to group. All right. So I'll add it to the relevant group that you have made payment for. And then interaction and communication will continue at the group level, no longer like this. All right. Please put down questions. Note your questions. When it's time to take questions, I'll come back to you and I'll take questions. All right. So let's go on. So as for the US market, this is it. I'll be sending this to all of you. All right. So the comprehensive training that really gets you to the level of six-figure job. By six-figure job will mean 100,000 per annum to something around 120,000 per annum for your level. Your level meaning that you just completed training, you have done 4 months of hard work, you have practiced, you have troubled us, and we have supported you, prepared you for interview, you have passed interview, and you have gotten job. So the job at that level is usually six-figure, minimum 100,000. I mean, from my experience in the last 1 year, 100,000. Sometimes 110, 120 maximum. All right. To get to that level, you will need to go beyond Linux. You'd have to go all the way to, first of all, cloud. And then, of course, we'll talk about cloud when we get there. But for now, we'll just note that AWS is one of the 3 popular clouds. In fact, it's the most popular of the 3. And therefore, when we're talking about cloud, the most common name that comes to mind is Amazon Web Services. And then after cloud, there is another course called Terraform. Terraform is about writing scripts that automate process. I don't want to go deeply into that. We'll go into all of those later. But this is just an overview, all right? But basically, I'm saying that after the Linux Cloud Administration course, which is free, as you can see here, I hope you can see this. There are other courses that you will need to take to get to the level of six-figure IT professional. These courses are AWS, Terraform, DevOps tools, and then DevOps project. Together, these two can be called DevOps, all right? At a reduced fee of $600 per course. Now, I know that some of you are here for these courses. I know that your inquiry is not about Linux, but I just literally forced you to be here today so that you can be part of this meeting, and then we can take your questions at this meeting, and depending on contributions from other people, we can arrange on how we move from Linux to these other courses. Let's go on. Now, like I said earlier, Linux is only the start of IT. It will be really hard to get a job at that level. It will be hard because it's just a 4-week course. So if anybody can go and do a course and get a job, unless of course you already have something on which you are putting that knowledge, it will be hard. Linux alone it's not likely to give you a job, especially if you just complete it in 1 month without doing additional work on your own. So DevOps engineer. DevOps engineering is the real thing. All right. If you Google that, you go to LinkedIn, you go to other job sites, you are going to see that this job is really, really hot and readily available. On a daily basis, employers and recruiters are looking for qualified DevOps engineers. This is where the money is. And that's the goal. Even though we are starting with Linux, this is the goal. This is the destination that we have in mind. And at that level, you can earn up to 400,000 naira. $500,000 per annum. Nigerian people, you are confusing me. All right. And then you could be called any of these titles, whether they call you cloud server administrator, they call you site ruler, they are really very, very interdependent. In other words, a cloud server administrator may just have to learn only 1 or 2 tools, just 2 additional tools to become a site reliability engineer. And it could be employed as that and be deployed to this. So whether they call you cloud operations engineer, or the most popular name now, DevOps engineers, or they call you cloud solutions architect, by the time you are done with all of these courses, then you qualify to be addressed as any of these job titles. All right. This is the first time we are doing this year. We actually used to run these courses at $600 per month, but 2022 we upgraded to 4,500. So our current fee now is this. However, we are going back to the old fee. Why? Because there are so many opportunities out there. So why are we training just 7, 8, 10 people when recruiters are looking for hundreds of people on a daily basis? All right. So if I have this and I can transfer it, why not? Why not? There are opportunities that we can't, no one company can fill them. There are thousands. One of my last sessions with somebody who also had spent like 30 years with Amazon, because normally I go for interviews like that to get what they are looking for so that I can pass the skill and the knowledge on to you, my trainees. And he wasn't kidding, because this was from a high-tech person directly. They had over 150 vacant IT positions, 150,000. All right. So this was not just paperwork. This was something with an insider. So I just felt, why are we holding the knowledge? Why don't you make it available? And the way to make it available is first of all give this free of charge, and then make the order so affordable that almost anybody can afford it. I mean, I'm really serious about getting it right. So it is now only $600 per course for these other ones instead of the other one, instead of the high fees. All right. So this is how far we have come. We are starting with Linux systems administration, but we are not ending there. We are going all the way to DevOps engineering. Again, but even if you don't get to the last bus stop, at least you should be prepared to take the next course after Linux systems administration, which is cloud. In other words, yeah, even though from day one, if we are starting training today after all of this, if your questions are not so many and we have time to start training today, we are going into cloud right away. And you see that when we get to cloud, how we can bring in Linux and begin to use Linux to manage our cloud services. We're not holding anything. I'm showing you everything because that is what the industry needs. All right. So having said all of that, the next thing we want to quickly talk about is introduction to IT and introduction to cloud, introduction to DevOps engineering. All right. So before I go into what is IT, what is cloud? When we say cloud, what do we mean? And what is the place of DevOps engineering? I'll just take like 2-3 questions to make you co-participants, and then we'll come back to introduction to cloud. And then once we are done with all of that, and we say the relevance of IT, we'll go on to, yeah, we'll just go. Let me not preempt. All right. So we'll take a 2-minute break there to take questions about what we have done so far, because we have not completed.
Good evening, Engineer Akin.
Yes. Well,
my name is Soji, and I have a 2-in-1 question. The first one is about the $600 for the DevOps tools. From the presentation, we saw that you said it's been written as per month. And when you were explaining, you said per course. Can you please clarify?
Yeah, per course is the same thing as per month. We do 1 course per month.
Okay,
so there are 4 courses altogether. Sorry?
That would be 600 multiplied by 4 months.
Yes.
Okay, and the second question is this. Judging from the fact that you know how it goes in the United States, where we do 2 jobs and the other thing, we are mostly free in the weekend. Fine, this is a course we can sacrifice some days during the week, but is it possible for you to choose a day during the weekend and a day during the week so that people like us doing 2 jobs would be able to, you know, we sacrifice 1 day and then we make ourselves available fully for the weekend course?
Gotcha. Yeah, valid point, but unfortunately, no, we don't have that kind of arrangement. So it's strictly, it works strictly with the schedule. So if your schedule is Tuesdays, Thursday, then strictly Tuesdays, Thursday. Yes, we do have classes for weekend, but they are doing their own thing. So it is not, for example, the class we have for weekends now, they're already in DevOps. So if we say, come and join DevOps class and agree, it makes a mess of the whole thing. So if Tuesday, Thursday is not convenient and you feel like, oh, let me wait until there is a new class starting weekend, then that's understandable. We cannot combine it.
Okay, thank you.
So to buttress the answer to the question, so there are 5 courses altogether. So the first course is 1 month, Linux. That's what we are starting now. That's what we are doing. The second course will be AWS. That is 1 full month of AWS. In fact, AWS has added some new topics to the curriculum. So it may extend a little beyond a month, but let's call it 1 month. And then the next course will be Terraform, 1 month. So when we say 5 courses, we actually mean 5 months, 1 month per course. The first one is free of charge. The other will be $600 per course.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, evening, Comfort.
Yes, sir. Unlike me now, I'll be going to work by 8:45 here, so I won't be able to finish the class. So the recording class that we're having, is it going to be part of the $100 that we're going to pay?
Yes.
Oh,
Once you have, with your $100, you have access to record it. It will be shared privately with you. It's not public.
oh, okay. All right, sir.
I have over 700 videos on YouTube. I'm sure some of you have seen like 30, 20 of them. Majority of them are private, only available to people who make it. Yes. So Comfort, you can
enter your PIN to unlock the device.
If that works for you, so that when you miss classes, you make do with the recorded classes, because they are not edited. We don't edit recorded classes. All the mistakes we made in class, everything, you will still see like you were in live class.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, evening, welcome.
Yeah, I have a question. Looking at your curriculum, I was wondering if I could skip the AWS class and go into the Terraform. Is it possible if I have maybe someone I registered with for AWS already, and I want to skip it for the Terraform with you. Can I do that?
Yes, you can. You can, but yes, you can.
Because I
In
mean,
that case, you are not my trainee. So unless you, I think I'm still coming back to that part. Yeah, so if you feel like I already know this, I just want to come in here and grab that, yes, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm not really able to defend you when it's time to, yeah, there are other benefits listed below that I'm going to share. When it's time for company to call me and say, who is that? Was that Jude?
this Jude, yes, thank you.
Yeah, Jude Zami said he worked with you. Do you know him? I mean, you did just one course with me. So how am I able to defend you on DevOps that you did not do with me? How am I able to defend you on the other courses?
No, I don't mean DevOps. I mean skipping the solutions architect and doing the rest with you. Because I already registered with
yeah, I'm talking generally now. I mean, for other people, so that we answer the question generally. So if you come in for a specific course with me, yes, I will allow you to join the class, but you are not the same as somebody who I groomed from nothing to DevOps. So that person, I'm able to confidently say, that person, yes, he's my trainee, he knows it, or he does not know it. Or that's where the mentorship thing comes in. So you are not really my mentee, just coming in. Yeah, I will not stop you, but just know that your colleague whom I trained from scratch to the top would have more to me than you just coming in. Yeah, once you understand that.
Okay, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Sorry.
Yeah, let's who John? How is that?
Yeah.
Leon?
Yeah. Okay. When will the next course take place? Like the solution architect course take place? Like, is it 1 month from now? Is it 30 days from now? We would start
the 1 month from now, September 1st.
Okay. And so can we? I was wondering, can I pay the 600 each month, or do I need to pay everything at one time?
Each month, 600 each month, every month, instrumental.
Okay, and also the course, just in case I have an emergency, will some of the courses be recorded if I miss one night or no?
Yeah, we said that already. So
okay, sorry. Okay. And then for the Linux, I'm going to pay the 100. So I could just pay it tonight, and I'll have access to everything immediately, or is it just
videos, support? Yes, you have access.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
You're welcome.
Thanks for this clarification.
Hi, good evening.
So yeah.
So for someone like me, I'm joining from the UK, and we'll have the same time with Nigeria. So, and I want to go for that to the AWS Cloud Architect course. And I don't know, do I have to join the US people?
Yeah, it will be US. Nigeria course it's not good for UK market.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And do we also have to use their own time? Because right now it's like 1 a.m. here. So I have to be joining the 1 a.m. class.
What's the other way to know? So if you are joining US class, then it has to be US. There are no 2 US class.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, good evening.
All right, so let's continue with the class now because we've done. Okay, let's just take one more question.
I just need to ask this quick question about our labs. Do we need any kind of a specification for our laptop to do the labs?
No.
Okay.
We are going to be working almost 100% in cloud. So once you have, all our resources are in cloud.
Do we need to pay for our cloud registration?
We'll get there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We'll start the course properly. So as for capacity of laptop that you need, nothing. Even a 2 gig laptop, as long as you're able to go into cloud and have access to the resources.
Hello, sir. I have one question.
Please mute yourself. Just the person answering questions should. Asking questions should.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Hello, sir.
Rod, we already answered you. Rod, is that how your name is? So who was going to ask the next question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Can I talk?
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. My name is Orinda. I'll be doing all the courses, and I want to be with you from the start to the end. My own point is it negotiable?
Yeah, it's been treated from $4,500. That is what my current. I'm sure you guys. Anybody knows anybody in my current class? or that just completed training this year? I'm sure you do. So there's no, and then you'll be following me on Instagram. You'll be seeing how much I've been advertising. Is this just the first time we are doing?
No problem.
So
I just
cannot,
want to know. That's
yeah,
it.
it's
Because
already.
I know I can afford the 500 every month. I don't mind, but
No,
God is
600.
able.
Yeah, you know, these things are not cheap,
Yeah.
to be honest, because to learn
No,
DevOps.
I know. You are really doing a good job. I know.
All right. Thank you for appreciating that. So
you're welcome.
spend 80,000 to learn some of these things. So, and then we're talking about 6-figure jobs for you. So if I'm training you for 6-figure jobs, you don't want me to earn 7 figures?
Got a question, sir.
Yes.
So I know you've been doing this for a while and you have a number of students out there. By the way, sorry, my name is Ernest. You've been doing this for a while. What's the employment rate for your students, for those who go through the program, like those who've been getting jobs?
So this year, from 2022, my price went up and then my number of students reduced because not everybody can afford 4 or 5. So my typical class now is like 7 to 10 persons. Out of that 7 to 10 persons, within 3 months of completion of training, we would say 70% to 80% success.
Okay.
But they are very few. They are very few. But with a class of 100 or 200, of course, that is likely to drop. That percentage of success is likely to drop. But with a few people, 7 people, direct interaction, if you have problem, we'll just come. We hold meetings impromptu just to help you resolve issues. Yeah, I mean, that support is so much that we cannot afford to have anything less than 70% success. And it does not mean that even the remaining 30, it just means that they will require more time to get used to the practice before they get job. Ultimately, everybody gets job. Like I'm going to show you now. Okay, let's see. Let's go on with it.
Excuse me, sorry. One question. Hello, one more question, sir. My name is.
You don't want to finish the talk?
My name is Oluwaseun. So we have from cloud server administration to DevOps project. So at what point can someone search for job? Let's say after completing the cloud server administration and AWS cloud solution architect, can someone search for job with these 2 courses?
Even with Linux, you can start to look for job, but you are not likely to get job. I mean, the kind of job I'll be proud of you for until you complete DevOps.
Okay.
Because what employers are looking for, I know what they are looking for. I know what Apple is looking for. I know what Amazon is looking for. I know what Google is looking for. All right. It is only after you have completed the training to DevOps level that you are ripe for what they are looking for.
Okay.
Good evening,
Otherwise, you may get job before, please hold on. You may get job, but it's not really the kind of job that I will probably say I have a training. I mean, I can probably tell you now, I have trainings in Google, everywhere. Okay. Everywhere. In all of the FANG. You know what I mean by FANG? The big tech company, Facebook, yes. Amazon, Google, Apple, all of them. We have trainees who are doing very well. But why am I not mentioning the trainees that are doing? There must be some trainees that are doing, that are not starting at that level, but at that level. So the target is to get you up there. And it takes you to learn everything we have prepared for you, which will take 5 months to get you into DevOps engineering role to fit into those roles. All right. Next question.
Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good evening. My name is Uche. I have a question towards the certification of each class. What help would you assist the students?
So there is only one certification that will recommend, and so you don't have to write certification on Linux, write certification on AWS, write certification on Terra. No. Just one certification will cover all of them, and that certification is called AWS Solutions Architect.
So you're not giving any on DevOps?
Well, no, you don't need it.
Okay, excuse me, sir.
Good evening, Mr.
Uche, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes and no, but
yeah, carry on. DevOps.
Okay, that's
My
cool.
name is Taiwo.
Unless you want me to explain why you don't need, but
Why
just
don't you
remember
need
that
for DevOps?
I have 29 years experience and I'm interacting with industry experts on your behalf. So if I tell you what you don't need, then just focus on what you need.
Yeah, hello, Mr. King.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I can see that you are desperate to ask your question, Taiwo. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, so my question is, for all these classes, are you the one that will be taking all these classes?
Can you hear Taiwo?
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Oh yeah,
you.
now. So let's move on.
Okay. What I'm saying is, are you the one that will be taking all these classes? Are you the one that will be taking the classes?
Well, I'm here for Linux first, so let's see how Linux goes. So I'm taking you Linux because I'm volunteering to make that foundation very, very solid for you, so that even if you decide to do anything else, even if it's not DevOps, it's going to be solutions development, database, because there are many arms of IT. You'd have that solid background and be comfortable doing whatever it is you want to do. At least you have me for Linux. Whether I'll be the one for AWS, let's see how it goes. But I do have trainers. I have 3 other trainers.
All right.
All right, thank you. Now let's go on. Arinze will come back to you when we are ready for more questions. Now,
right,
back to class. Are you still seeing my Word document?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let me reduce my videos now. Okay, so why IT? Of course, that's self-explanatory, right? The world is moving. IT is basically replacing everything. I mean, the world is moving from a physical world to a virtual world. You are aware of that, right? With all of the apps that we have everywhere, gig economy. Yeah, the others are story. You know, IT it cuts across every industry, medical to everything is IT. All right. So you cannot go wrong with IT. You cannot go wrong because every industry needs IT as they are migrating from physical world to virtual world. All right.
What's the minimum amount of knowledge of skill in Linux that you need to be a cloud support engineer?
The type that I'll be giving to you in this course.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. All right. So we had what we call the second revolution and all of that. So right now, this is where we are, Industry 4, and it's about smart automation. It's about automation, IT automation, automating everything. All right. So even in the future, the next revolution that is going to take the place, that's going to overtake Industry 4, the 5th revolution, is still around IT, artificial intelligence, big data, cars driving themselves, which we're actually already experiencing in Industry 4. So IT is not just preparing you for the now, it's actually also preparing you for the next 50 years ahead. All right? So IT is it. IT is it. And of course, that is really obvious in the fact that look at the people leading the world today. And of course, indirectly, maybe directly sometimes, dictating the way we go, dictating to governments of the world what to do and where to invest. All right, so the number one guy, Elon Musk, is an IT guy. First of all, Tesla is not a car company. Tesla is an IT company. So Tesla is computers on wheel, not cars that are using computers. So it's an IT, even SpaceX. All right. This is an IT guy. We're talking about AWS, Jeff Bezos. So if out of the 10 richest men in the world today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I thought they were 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6 of them, 60% of the world richest men out of all the possible industries, they're already IT guys. What other indication do you need that this is the way to go? The way to go. And these people are, because of their position, are providing the kind of employment that you are looking for. Okay. All right. So Apple is another big one. Is it listed here already? Unfortunately, it's not there because It's not about money for them, it's about the creativity. But in any case, they are the world's biggest company by market capital. All right. So as you're already experiencing, regular jobs are shifting so that IT jobs are replacing them. So behind the behind the machines that you see in places like Walmart replacing humans, there is a lot of IT job going on in the background. So as the jobs are leaving the secular world, like you know them, they are being replaced by IT infrastructure managed by IT people, IT guys like you. And of course, RFID is the technology that allows you to walk out, just walk in and walk out of shops without the need to check out. You're not checking out because your credit card is remotely and wirelessly monitored, and you can check in and check out just by walking through the gate. All of this, even though it appears wireless in the foreground, actually is IT, some artificial intelligence running in the background. And this is what we are training you to do. So by your Linux understanding, by cloud servers, all of these are dependent on the skills that you are learning, that you'll be learning as an IT person. So if you, just in case you have fear that, oh, if I learn this IT and in another 5 years becomes obsolete, it can never be us. The worst that can happen is that there is a new technology that is maybe not DevOps, maybe it's called something else. And we're actually already talking about them. The technologies of the future are already here. The machine learning, the artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and so on and so forth. These are the technologies of the future. And once you know Linux and you know cloud, all of this you can learn. It's just like learning another tool on top of what you already know. So IT is the way to go. IT, even though I've been in IT for 30 years, I'm still relevant because it's just a matter of, oh, this one is no longer what they use now. I'm going to learn a new tool on top of that. And because I already have a good understanding of how this works, it's not like they are throwing this away completely when this comes. They are building it on top of this. So it's just a matter of maximum 3 weeks of hard work, 3 days of interaction with people in the industry, just of skill, and you remain relevant. So IT is the way forward. All right. Now, what do we have here? We already said that the free training is for Mondays and Wednesdays. All right. And then now, there are people that are here specifically for AWS. Yes. There are people that are here specifically for AWS. And there are people that feel that, yeah, even though the free training is going on, and you are saying this thing takes 5 months, I've already registered with, in fact, I've done this before, I'm already doing it somewhere. I want to run these two concurrently. Since this is free of charge, yeah, I'll just take that since it's free of charge, but I want to run this one along. So for such people, we have reserved this, and I have about 3 registrations for that already. So we can do our AWS right away, starting August 9th, the Tuesday of, August 9th is Tuesday. We can do our AWS. We can start our AWS in August. I'm not saying this is not for everybody. This is only for people that I promised, okay, come into class today and we'll see what we can do. Yes, we can have your AWS. You can register right away for AWS so that as we do these Mondays and Wednesdays, we'll be doing AWS on Tuesdays and Thursdays, same time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Texas, 3 hours. This is solid. Okay, so like the person who asked question earlier on. So if you felt that, for some people, I don't even know IT. I don't know what this Linux is about. I'm not able to cope with any other IT subject unless I know this Linux first. Oh, beautiful. We are here for you. Focus on this. And then when you complete that, we see how we can build AWS on top of that. But I'm just saying that there are a few people, and we are not unaware that there are a few people who are here strictly for AWS. They just want to do AWS. In fact, they have registered already. So for people like that, why you participate in the free Linux training Mondays and Tuesdays, join classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and let us do AWS. I'll be your trainer for AWS for this month. Whether I'll be your trainer next month, I can't say yet. Let's see how this goes. All right. So what am I saying? That yes, we would have our Linux classes for these days, and we also have AWS classes for these days. Not in September, but in August. In addition to the one starting September 1st for the people that would have completed the free CCNA. All right. Sorry, the free Linux training. All right. So if you do take the paid courses and you go all the way, like some of you have said, you want to go all the way to DevOps, allow me to use it from scratch, mentor you from Linux, from knowing nothing in IT and building you layer by layer until you become a DevOps expert. For people like that, it will not be this kind of class where we have over 200 people in class. No, it will be a maximum capacity of 50 people in class. And then, of course, you have your complete step-by-step guide for each of the courses. Every course you participate, you register for, you have the full manual. All right. And then you also have the kind of WhatsApp group that we talked about for Linux, where we can support you. And then somebody was asking, what help can we render with certification? And because our certification focus will be AWS, we are going to support you with dumps. You know what dumps are? Dumps are like similar questions that would come out in the recertification. So you need to practice and get used to it. In fact, like virtually know the answers before you go and write the certification, right? So because we are talking about certifications here, which is what is recognized, we are not talking about certificates. So we are not issuing paper certificates like we will do in the case of Linux. We rather encourage you to pass the certification. And then, of course, like I was telling somebody, because you are my product that I've trained you from beginning to the end, I would also want to support you with resume and interview preparation. All right, so we have a sample resume already that fits the ideal situation. That once you push that resume to the market, recruiters are calling you. So we're essentially preparing you to be able to defend the content of that resume. All right. So we'll discuss that and make a copy available and then help you fit in your current experience into that experience. And then background check is when your employers, once they make up their mind, they want to employ you, they want to verify, are you who you claim you are? So the theITern, specifically, I will be available to take their calls or their emails and say, yeah, I know this person. Yeah, it's a requirement for employment. We'll be there to support you on background check. And then you have access to mentorship, which you already know. And then there is an alumni association, a WhatsApp group of everybody that have passed through our training. And many of them are currently employed in different places. So you can be part of that WhatsApp group so that you can interact. Beyond what I am able to do by myself, you also have access to your colleagues, hundreds of them. We have about 108 people currently on that WhatsApp group. So in the background, you can connect with them and say, I've been trying this interview, I've done two, I've failed. Who has, there are things I cannot discuss at my level, but with your colleagues, you can go through the back door and get things done. And I know that a lot of things are happening there, even though they are not official. Yes. So you'll be member, because you would have passed through all of the programs, you will actually be an alumnus, and then you can join that. We'll make you a member of that group. The goal is just to continue to help you until you get that. All right, and then when you get a job, you also become the person who helps others. All right. I'll take a few more questions and then we'll go into what is information technology. And then that will take us. Maybe I'll just complete it right away and then we'll spend the rest. Taking questions. All right. So anytime we talk about information technology, we're basically talking about your computer. So we're saying that your computer has storage, has memory, and then has a processing unit. So when all of these work together, they're able to accept your data, process the data, and store the data, whether temporarily or permanently, so that that data that has been processed and stored as information can be used and be converted to useful purpose, whether by you or by somebody remotely. And all of the technologies that are related to you enter data, something processes the data, and then a new kind of data results from that original data. To differentiate between the initial data and the later data, we call this one data and we call this one information, and then save it. And then if somebody wants to connect to that data and access that data, then there has to be some kind of connection between that remote system and your local system. All right. So that aspect of connecting between systems is called networking. All right. So there is computer, and then there is something called server. Server simply means that out of the many computers available, the service that you want to access, that these other computers want to access, is resident inside one computer, this computer. So all these other computers will have to connect to this computer in order to access that service. For example, browse the website that is resident here. In that case, you call this computer the website server. But it's not called website server, it's called web server. So server is simply a system that has a resource that other computers, even if it's just one other computer, needs and is accessing. So this concept of memory, CPU, RAM, server, networking, database, everything is related to information technology. All of this working together is what we call the technology that manages information technology, IT. So coming into IT means that you have a basic understanding of how all of this works. And we're going to explain it when we start the practical, how the place of data center, when we say data center, what do we mean? When we say cloud, what do we mean? How all of this interconnect to give you the concept of, oh, I can actually do something here, or I can impute a data here, transmit it, convert it to voice, transmit it over some wired or wireless link, and it can be received at the other end as voice and converted back to audible signal. All of that concept is called information technology. And when we say information technology, these are the different aspects, the different aspects of information technology. Now, all of these different aspects working together, we call all of them together infrastructure. Infrastructure. That is one bit here, another bit here, another bit here, all of them interconnected to work together for the same goal. Right? So infrastructure could be a piece of hardware or a full computer like server, your computer, or it could be just one device that is responsible for connecting one computer to another computer. For example, a modem, a switch, all of these little things, they are all part of IT infrastructure. But that is even complex. The way to look at it these days is there is a place where all of these infrastructures are available virtually, no longer physically. So I don't really need to go to the market now to buy a piece of equipment and do my connection in order to set up a network. This network is already set up spiritually and made available to you through services called cloud. So what you'll be learning is how do you go into cloud and make use of these services, this infrastructure available in cloud. How do you go to cloud to set up a computer? How do you go to cloud to set up a server? How do you go to cloud to set up a storage? How do you go to cloud to set up a database? And when you do have all of these things set up, how do you interconnect all of them and put your application, for example, a dating application, on that infrastructure so that it is now available to your thousands, millions, and even billions of customers? All right? Like this, the case we just had now of us, all of us connecting to a particular application called Zoom. All 200 of us are currently connected to just one application. That application is running in a server, and that server is placed in cloud. By the time you become a DevOps engineer, it becomes your work now, even at the AWS level, even before it becomes a DevOps engineer, it becomes your work to be able to go into cloud, set up a server, all right? I want you to see my hands. You'll be able to go into cloud, spin up a servers, put the right security feature, use your Linux, understanding of Linux to configure that server in such a way that it can accept and house and make available the application Zoom to all the 1 billion customers currently logged onto Zoom right now. 200, about 200 of us here, another 300 in that room, another 400 in that room, and then all over America, all over Europe, and so on and so forth. Billions of people. So this is the idea of cloud, that you are able to make a service available and billions of people are able to access that service concurrently. And your work is to be able to prepare a server and fortify that server with all of the relevant services so that irrespective of how many people are connected to that service never goes down. So Zoom must never go down. Now that we're live on this session, enjoying ourselves, and imagine that Zoom just goes down. First time, second time, third time. They're out of business. So the next thing I'll go is alternative to Zoom, and subscribe to the alternative. So your work ultimately will be not just to go into cloud and make this, prepare the infrastructure that will house these services, but also to be able to manage the infrastructure, the operating system, the service in such a way that they remain highly available. In fact, they should never go down as far as your own part of the work is concerned. Because if cloud goes down, it is not your fault because the cloud does not belong to you. It belongs to somebody else that you are paying to use their services. So you hold them responsible. But as far as your own part of the responsibility is concerned, they should not go down. All right. So do you have a picture of what IT is now? The idea of entering data, processing. This data could be like database, all the citizens in America earning above 250,000 per annum. There should be a database for that. But should anybody be able to just go to that database and fetch that information? And of course, you don't want that. You definitely don't want that. So how do you now secure that information so that nobody has access? And even for people who have access, they have limited, these are some of the things you will learn in Linux, right? How do you access? And then how do you see a file to know, oh, based on what I'm seeing here, this file is restricted. You can read it, but you cannot write to it, or you cannot even see. There are files that will be there, yet you set and set, you cannot find them. Because you, as the Linux engineer, you have done something that makes it invisible. So these are the different, IT is very wide. IT is very wide. It's so wide that one man is not expected to know all of these aspects. So one man may just say, you know what, this database aspect of IT, let me just focus on that so I know it deep and not just know everything on the surface. So it becomes a database person. And that person will say, okay, you are the person entering the data. Okay, let me be the person that will connect, that will ensure that all of the computers that will communicate with this data are securely connected to one another. And that person will call himself a networking expert. Even at the level of networking, there are different levels, but a networking person. Another person will say, okay, the application that you need to process this data, let me be the person, the programmer that will write that application to do the work. That person becomes a developer, an application, a solutions developer. So different aspects, solution developer, a DevOps engineer, a cloud engineer, a Linux person, a database person, and so on and so forth. All of these are different aspects of IT, and they all have to do with something processing data, making meaning of the data, and saving the data for either immediate or future use. And then, of course, the ability to connect and access this data. That's the concept of IT. And then the concept of cloud, this is just an overview. We're going to do all of this in details. Well, I'm deliberately covering this at this level so that people who are completely new to IT can at least have a high level understanding of what this concept is all about. All right. Okay, so, and then after that, what do we do? And then when we get to cloud now, so cloud, I tried to explain cloud the last time. I don't know if you got that. So the old, please mute yourself. Are you still there, by the way? Are you still hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, yes.
Maybe I should relax a little and let you
Loud
ask.
and clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Yes, we're hearing you.
All right.
Yes, we
So,
can.
all right, who else is here with me? I'm the only video man. Me, myself, I'm Mustafin Cherokee. Mustafin, are you there?
Yes. Yeah.
Helene, where are you? Are you in US, Helene?
Yeah, Michigan.
What are the Nigerian people? Let me look around. No other person is doing video here.
Emil from Nigeria.
Where are you?
Where are you, sir?
Let's see your
I'm
face.
also here from Nigeria.
Yes, from Nigeria, we do.
Where are you
here
now?
from
So Nepa
Nigeria.
gave you light to be able to. Where are you?
No
Where are the
light,
Nigerian
you.
No light, oh, no light.
Here from
people?
No
Nigeria.
light.
Aneka and Wale is from
Yeah, from
Michigan.
Cape Town.
Okay.
No light, you.
Yeah.
We have
Okay.
lights, yeah.
Okay, Emeka, where are you?
I'm in Lagos, yeah.
Okay, which part of Lagos? Banana Island.
I'm in Lekki.
So that's the only place there will be light at this point.
I'm in
The
Lekki.
generator with the run.
I ain't play like this.
That's still light. All right. So the concept of cloud is, so the normal thing before some of you were born in those days when we started IT, if you had a contract if you had anything to do, what you would do to set up your system is to go to the market, go to Computer Village, buy a computer, bring it to the office, then you go back, buy software on CD, and then you load your operating system into the hardware, into your computer. And then you buy your Microsoft Office, load it to the computer, then you go to your guy. The computer we just bought, we have loaded the operating system and it's ready. What do you want us to be able to do? Oh, the reason we bought that computer is to run some accounting packages so that we'll now use it to do our accounting. Oh, and then you get that package, you load it, and then the computer is now ready. Of course, you have to load your antivirus. In those days, you didn't even need to connect to the internet. You just needed it as a standalone to be able to do this. That's how it used to be. But these days, life has changed. It's no longer like that. So instead of going to the computer to buy, going to the market to buy a computer, load the operating system, prepare it, ask your boss, what do you need the computer for? And then specifically put that software to do that task. What we have now is that some big company like Amazon has prepared a warehouse, a big hall that could be as long as half kilometer and as wide as, almost as wide as that. And then they have put in the basic resources of a computer. And they are not even the basics, the whole of computer. They have actually put computers there. But the computers are not necessarily the form of laptops and computers. They are basically processors, storages, and memories. And there are so many of them. If you've been to the switch room of a telecoms company before, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So it's a big hall. Anyway, so all of this hardware have been made available there. And then through the internet, you can now connect remotely to this hardware and use the RAM, the processors, the storage of this hardware in this warehouse as if you were physically there. So there's no need for you to buy a computer. So what you just do is you buy a part of, buy space from these enormous resources that Amazon has provided. So this physical provision that Amazon has made, the physical warehouse and all of the equipment inside and all the security guards, everything is called the data center. And then the service that is made available to the world so that people can now connect through internet to the different resources available here, to the RAM, and be using them. Because you see all the lights working. What's going on here? Because people are connected remotely and using them. That service is called cloud. So with cloud now, you can now access computers virtually, no longer physically. So from your laptop, you can now access Amazon data center through cloud services. And whatever type of system you want, like you will see when we log in. If you say you want a system that is 5 million times bigger than a laptop, they'll provide it to you. And then they'll tell you, this is the amount to be paid every month. Once you say, so your limitations of, oh, I got this contract, but I don't have $300,000 to go and spend to, that has been removed. You now have access to all the resources, whether you need them small or you need them in large quantities, they are all there. So the concept of, I have an idea, how do I bring this idea to practicality? It's so simple now that you can actually wake up the minute you have that idea, go to cloud, set up your system, run your idea there and see whether it works. So no wonder you see somebody 1 month, he's broke. By the time you see him in 6 months' time, he's a millionaire. Because the resources to bring these ideas to reality are now available just from the comfort of your home. And it gets so available and the opportunities so common that they can now even hire Emeka and say, Emeka, I have this work, it's so much for me, I can't do it all by myself. Do you know cloud? Do you know this? Do you know this? Okay. And then they test you, okay, please do this part of the work for me. I'll be paying you even though you are working from home. You don't need to come to my office. Even me, the owner of the business, I'm probably working from my own bedroom. All right? So this is the concept of cloud, that you have access to computer resources to do all your computing. And that actually opens a whole lot of opportunities, bringing you to what you can do. You have access to all of that remotely from your laptop, from wherever you are in the world, as long as you have internet connection to link you to that service. And then those services are actually, even though they are virtual to you, they are nowhere, you are just using them. They are actually physical somewhere. They are resident in a hall somewhere called the data center. All right? So that's the concept of cloud. Oye or Miss Sheung?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
here? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, nice. All right.
Thank you, sir.
So, that's cloud. Let me see what else I need to explain, just to give you, and then we can now take your questions. So that's the concept of cloud. Then there is something called don't worry about that. I'll explain that on start cloud. All right. So, what do I mean here? What am I trying to say? So I'm saying that, okay, if you were building a home, the concept of building the home and putting doors, windows, roofing, and flooring, all of that we call infrastructure. So in cloud engineering, instead of home engineering and architecting, where we talk about building, in cloud engineering, we talk about infrastructure. And then when you have your house, when your house is built, you have your doors, your windows, your roofing, your flooring in place, right? What's the next thing you need to put in the house in order to make it habitable? You want electricity, your gas, your water is running, your internet, your sewer, and all of that. This basic requirement that your house must have to make it habitable is the same in cloud engineering. But in cloud engineering, we don't call them utilities. We call them platform. All right? So the Linux administration that you are learning today, you are learning how to put a platform on the infrastructure. Because when you get to cloud, you are going to set up your servers, your CPU, your RAM, your networking, all of that, just by a click of a button, of 1 of 3, 4, 5 buttons. You are done. And then you now put a platform on that infrastructure. Just like when you went to Computer Village to buy the computer, and then you now put operating system on that computer. If you see my mouse moving, all right? So you put the platform on the infrastructure. And then in the case of home, after your gas, your cooker, everything is ready, you want to move in. By the time you are moving in your bed, first of all, you divide into bedroom, living room, kitchen, and so on. In IT, that division into this part is for this part is for this, is called specialty, technology domain. So there is a part of the whole thing called network, there's a part called security, there's a part called architecting, there's a part called development. And then by the time you are moving your furniture into your home, in cloud, what you're actually moving into this infrastructure, this platform is our application. So the whole goal of setting up all of this is to put our application in the infrastructure. Just like the whole goal of setting up a home is to live in it by our application. Please mute yourself. All right. So I don't know if this analogy helps to say what you know about building a home is the same thing as is similar to what we do when we are building infrastructure in cloud as cloud engineers. All right. So okay, so that brings me to this one. So when you say infrastructure, what we mean is just the physical, the servers. Can you see this? The servers, the networking, the basic things that you need to run your computer. Those are the infrastructure. So when you go to cloud, you take your server, you take your networking, you take your storage. In 3 clicks, you are done. You have your infrastructure. The next thing you want to do is put an operating system on that infrastructure. When you have that, you now see platform as a service. And that is where you come in as network, as a Linux server administrators. So you put your platform on the infrastructure. So when you have only the infrastructure without your operating system, you call it IaaS. It means infrastructure as a service. By the time you are running your operating system on it, it becomes platform as a service. By the time you now have your software running on your platform, which is on your infrastructure, we now have software as a service. Don't worry, we'll still explain it. I just want you to have a high level understanding of how IT works. When you have a bare land that you want to build a home on, that is like cloud. By the time you go in there and you set up your home, empty home, just with your doors, your windows, your roofing, in cloud, that is similar to setting up your infrastructure, your servers, your memory, your networking, but there is nothing inside, they are just empty. By the time you now begin to, before you can put anything inside, you have to make it habitable. To make it habitable, you put an operating system. The operating system we'll be talking about here is Linux. Once the operating system is there, then that is the time you can now talk about putting an application. For example, the Uber app that some India company developed for you, or the dating app, or your eBay, or your delivery app. You now put it on your Linux, and your Linux is running on your infrastructure. So at this level, you have your infrastructure. At the level where you put your operating system on your infrastructure, you have a platform. At the level where you put your application on your platform, which is running on your infrastructure, you now have a complete IT system. After then, what you need to be doing will be improvement and maintenance to make sure that this application is always providing services to the thousands of customers that are connected to it. All right. So for this specific course, like I already said earlier, as Linux system administrator, if you are lucky to get a job, and that luck is not common these days, it will be around, yeah, there are jobs like that, but I'm just saying that 4 weeks of training is not enough. You need to do additional work on top of that and possibly learn other things that will put you on a make you more competitive, basically. All right. But if you do get a job, and there are jobs like that, it's just that you need to work hard to get it, it's around that figure. And your chances of getting a job after leaving 40%, not so high. What if you now go ahead to do cloud AWS? If you do AWS without knowing how to automate it, again, your chances of getting a job is slim. But if you do get a job, you can earn up to, you can pay you up to 80K per annum. But if you now know AWS, remember somebody asked this question earlier on. If you now know AWS, on top of AWS, you now also know how to script your Terraform. You know Terraform on top of AWS. So I said to that person, learning AWS by itself, it's okay, but it's not enough. On top of AWS, you now also learn Terraform. In other words, you can script. You can earn up to 80K. And you have a good chance, a fair chance of getting a job. But if you now know, in addition to scripting, if you now also now know DevOps, if you are now a DevOps person, then you stand a chance of earning up to 120. But usually 100K, the least that my trainees have earned in the last, even from beginning, as far as I can remember, it's 100K. Okay, so from between 100K and 120K, but let's just say up to 120K. And this one, you have a very good chance. All right. So by the time you get your first job, maybe second job, third job, and you have up to 5 years experience, because at this level, you are claiming that you have 4 years experience. If you are going into the industry as a DevOps person and you say you have no experience, nobody will hire you. So you are going to claim that you have 4 years experience. So your next question is, but I don't have 4 years experience. So would I not be lying? Where am I going to get that 4 years experience from? The practice, the training, the assignments, and the errors that will be supporting you on during all of this time, it's valid to be counted as experience. All right. So whether you now count them as 2 years experience, or as 3 years experience, or as 4 years experience, would vary from case to case. Some people will practice so hard, day and night, no partying, no social life. They just want to make sure they can get there within 4 months. Some people will say, what is there? Let me just be enjoying my life. It may take them up to 1 year. All right. So this is where the boys are separated from the men. So this is where I say some people may get job within 3 months of completing training. Other people may take up to 6 months or even more. All right. But by the time you now get your first job, then you have broken the dreams. It now becomes easy to get jobs as high as 150K. Of course, that is guaranteed. That is guaranteed because you are already an expert. So you are not actually at this level, you are no longer the person looking for job. It is the recruiters that are hunting, looking for you everywhere. Please, I hear you work for a social company. Do you know how to do? We are looking for people like you. Our company, have you been called by a recruiter before? They are literally begging you. Our company is the best. We have this kind of program for 401K, healthcare. Hey, please come and work for us. So it is at this level that you experience that. This, did I say that name? Yeah, at this level, after you have managed to get your first job, and then you are doing well, and then it is actually possible with 2 years experience and over to get a job that is paying up to 400K. Somebody does not believe that, right? Can you get a job of 400K as an IT person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No doubt.
Sorry?
Yeah, I saw one of the postings last night for between 400 and 500. That's what they were offering.
Okay, that's fine.
As a DevOps engineer.
Oh, who is that? Who is talking? Please let them know. Tell them. Who is that? Let's see your face.
My name is Ernest.
Ernest, okay, Ernest, we talked earlier.
Yeah.
They don't believe you. Tell them, because if I say it now, they will say.
Honestly, I've done this all the way to DevOps part, but because I got some problems along the way, I had to go back and start all over because when I started, I didn't do the Linux part, and I think that's what I was missing out. So I feel like I need to do all this all over that way. You get to be
great.
better prepared for it.
Well, awesome.
Thank you.
Exactly my point. That's what I've been explaining to them, that Linux is really, really fundamental.
Well, I
Otherwise, you
actually
just go
also
all
know.
the way and then you come back and find out, oh, you missed that part. Yes, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I know somebody who actually earned 630,000 per annum from
Wow.
AWS. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
Awesome.
and a few people like that too.
Okay.
Dollars or naira?
What we are talking about dollars, not naira.
Dollars.
Dollars.
Yes.
Anye Kwakman, you want to come to the US now, right?
No, I mean, I live in the US already.
Oh, who was calling saying dollar naira?
That was
That-
me, Ada. I'm in Texas.
Ada wants to come to the US.
No, I'm in Texas.
Oh, where? Oh, Ada. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's possible. Actually, you are.
I want to
I just-
talk.
Sorry.
I want to talk.
Yeah. Ola, yes.
Yeah. I work with Amazon. You know, the last time I text you, you said about, you know, Amazon used to give us this benefit of career choices. They never allowed me. You understand?
Okay.
I put your website to them to give it to the HR. I send the text to them. They never did anything wrong. Like they said, they had their own school specialized.
Of course.
You understand? That's what okay, that's it. When you say, because the last time I've been following you for the past 2 years or 3 years now, when you try to do, when your cost is like 600, then when that was when the COVID was started. I wanted to do it, but I think along the line, and then the COVID, you know, I live in New York, you know, look at New York is, you know, the bills, all the kind of stuff. I said, okay, this bill, I couldn't make it, but later on, I'll say when I want to try to do it, that is when it goes up to 4,000 something. I said, wow,
Exactly.
I can make it because I know I'm a family man and I have kids, I have everything, you know how it works. I say, this is my income. I can't go more than what I have. When I saw the free one, I said, okay, I got to bring it up because I work throughout the weekend. I work at Amazon. I work at night. I work from Thursday to Sunday morning. You know, that kind of stuff. That's what I do. I was okay. I tried Amazon. I was okay. This is my opportunity to start from Linux because I have my Oracle before. Oracle 10G back in the days.
Wow.
I'm certified. Yeah, on administration. I started about it back in the days, and I tried to do Linux then when Linux just started coming in. You know that I started with SQ. You understand? When I started with SQ, when the Linux wanted to come in, that's just, you know, traveling. Everybody want to travel. I was in UK, from UK now come to America. And I've been in America and I was, okay, this is my opportunity as a Nigerian guy that's going to make me achieve my goal. When it's on Linux,
you are here to achieve your goal. So
I'm catching up. Yeah, I'm going to work on you throughout everything.
Yeah, you have no choice because, I mean, you are going to have this at 4.5 and now you are having it free of charge plus token. So yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great to see that some of you already know this value. But let me still show you something. Let me show you where you can see some of these things by yourself. So let's go to this website. I'm trying to cover my. Okay. So let's come here to see. You see this website?
Yeah.
Let's go there and see. Control C, and then go to Google. Control V. This is where you see that these figures are real. They are not fake. And this is the most reliable website for. Yeah, Google may help, but this is the most reliable. And then you can see that only 5 minutes ago, somebody posted that I got a job with Microsoft, and this is what they are paying me. 6 minutes ago, somebody said they got a job with Microsoft, and this is what they are paying me. Okay, let's go. Let's compare Amazon. So maybe after 5 years, 6 years of being in the industry, you could, 5 years actually, you can qualify as this one, for example. So this is the typical pay. Out of that pay, the salary is that, and then they'll give you stock worth this, which they pay quarterly, and then give you bonus of this. So at the end of the day, it comes to that. As for the 400 and something, 600 and something, look at it. So how many years experience does this guy have? So the basic is that, and then Amazon stock is this, and then bonus, which varies depending on how you negotiate, is that. Now let's see, as a software engineer, which you fall into. Yeah, basically software engineer. But for one for Facebook or for Amazon, yeah. Or let's do for Apple.
Let's go for
So,
Apple.
Yeah. So for Apple, where's Apple? Yeah. So let's say somebody at that level, view data point.
Yeah.
So is that what you are aiming? The guy doing, yeah.
Yeah,
700.
bro. Yeah, Apple. I have a friend working with Apple. That's where he hit me like almost 500 or something. That's when I see 600 is almost the same thing. It's living large. I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a rich guy. So what do you need to get there? Look at it here. Apple, New York, ICT, Apple developer.
I know.
12 years. Wow, this is like my kind of person. I mean, about the same experience. 12 years at that company and total of
22 years.
But look at this guy. This guy has 0 years at Apple, but 8 years of experience.
It's almost the same thing with it's almost the same thing.
Almost 500. Let's just say 450. So when we say 450, 500, 600 is possible, this is it. It's actually possible. And we're not even going to the highest. If we go to the highest, you'll be seeing millions. Let's even say you are not even getting there, but just work hard at what you do for the next 5-6 years. Yes, you could be here. You could be here. Distinguished engineer, well, let's even say you don't get it. Even if it's at this level, before you say you want to resign. Yes, it will be here. And this is not fixed. This depends on your negotiation here. They can increase this a little, even though they might be reluctant to do that. If you negotiate well, you can increase that a little. So these are possibilities. But of course, this is not day one. You have to put in some years of experience.
So
yes,
the one I talked, sorry, the one I talked about, I just put on the chat, a snip of it. I just put on the chat.
Okay. Oh, okay. The one, the example that you have. Yeah, it's for your colleagues to know that these are the possibilities in IT, so that they can.
We won't be clicking everything on the link, so that we will not be hard. We prefer you sending anything in the link. You know what I mean, sir? Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay, but basically he's just saying these figures are realistic. They are not. He knows somebody who is actually doing well. All right. So this is possible, even though you are starting at this level after training, but it is possible to get 400 and above. I'll just be modest on myself to 400. And then just go there and then you see. All right, to move forward, what do we do now? What do we need to learn? So the common questions, I think I've already answered some of these questions. Questions that people asked when they were making inquiry. What courses should I take to become DevOps engineer? Of course, I already answered that. All of these courses, all of the courses listed here. To become a DevOps engineer, we take all of these courses. Other places may not call them the same names that I've called them, or at the end of the day, please meet yourselves. It's about the same content. All right. Then what other question?
Yeah, it's me again, engineer Akin. This is Saji.
Okay.
And okay, so I know Femi actually lobbied if the 600 could be negotiable, and you said it is not negotiable. How about the $100 for we in the US for the materials and to be added to the group?
What about it?
Is it negotiable?
Please let me go on with training now. I'll be negotiating 100 naira. Is that not your lunch money? What do you want from me, bros? This is free of charge. How can you be negotiating $100 for a course that somebody saw for 4-5 and just waited? Man.
We just want some flexibility.
Flexibility for training you for a job of 400K. You don't want me to earn the same 400K. All right. So somebody was asking, I'm not good at coding. Can I make it? Yes. You don't really need coding. People who are, I'll come back to your question. Sorry, let me just finish it. So people who are good at coding, they would rather become developers. There's difference between developers, where's my video? There's difference between developers and DevOps engineers. So developers are the people who actually write the codes. So they study courses like Java, like Python, like C++, C#, and so on and so forth. So you don't need to be a developer to be a DevOps engineer. As a DevOps engineer, you are interfacing between developers and operations. All right. If you know a bit of development, is cool, but you don't have to. So without coding and without knowledge of coding, you can still be a good DevOps engineer with scripting. What you will learn instead is scripting, not coding. And it is that scripting that would Terraform will take care of. All right. DevOps is too hard for me. What other courses can you recommend? This will be hard. Yeah, that question is difficult. Well, there are different aspects of IT. I just happen to have picked one and focused and specialized on that, which is DevOps. So yeah, there may be other areas of IT that are simpler, but I'm not in position to really recommend. I only know my own core here. But again, remember that the simpler the specialization is, the lower the barrier. That means the easier anyone can come in, and then your job is not really secure. But the more difficult, that may be scary, but the more difficult it is, the more it raises the barrier, the more it is for anybody to just go and read some book overnight and come and take over your job. So your job is actually more secure as a DevOps engineer. Can I get a job from just this training? No, not likely. I already answered that. These are questions that I compiled from the questions that you guys asked while you were making it. How much time of training and practice do I need to get a job? At least 6 months. So even though the training will be for 5 months, you will need at least one additional month of thorough work on your own. Sometimes more than that, up to 2-3 months, depending on how you practice. Yeah. So by the time you gain these 6 months of practice, then you can present that in your resume as 2. The most 2 to 4 years, but the more common one is for you to present them as 4 years. All right. And then of course you can use our company if you are doing all of the courses at the place where you go for the practice. And it not really matter because people actually self-study and get IT jobs. So it's not really about whether you actually work for 4 years. It's about whether you're able to defend whatever you have claimed to be able to do. Because they're going to interview you based on those projects. What projects have you done before? And then you mentioned 2, 3. Okay, this particular project, what did you do? And you're able to defend it. That's what matters. Right? By this training, can we claim we have worked and gained experience at your place? Only if you complete the entire training. So if you come in and do just one course, and then they're asking me, do you know another course that you did not do with us? I'm not able to. All right, what certification do you recommend? We already answered that. AWS. All right. I can take your questions now, and then that might be.
Hello, sir. I was going to ask why did you advise we don't take the DevOps certificates?
Because employers are not looking for that. Employers are going to ask you what certification do you have, and once you say AWS certification, they are good to go. Remember that we have people. In fact, in the last class, the January class that finished in January, February, March, April, that finished in May. One person, it was a class of 7 people. 2 people got job before the end of the training while they were still in class. One of them, in fact, they had not even completed training, so they had not even written certification. They both got job. One of them was really good. So the point I'm making is sometimes even without certification, once you just prove that you know what you are doing, you can get the job. So it's not really about how many certifications, but once you have, all certifications are not rated equally. Some are more powerful. So AWS is good enough.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Having an AWS certification, would that qualify you for roles of DevOps engineers or?
And not the certification itself. What qualifies you for the role is the training and the project that you cover under the DevOps engineering course. Okay. However, as far as certification is concerned, maybe you just want to, especially if you are coming from non-IT background. Most of your accountants,
what about
business
computer science? Does that, work too? Does that?
Sorry?
What about the computer science background?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Computer science, computer engineering, electrical, any of the engineering, yeah. Okay. For non-IT background, then certification will be a way to say, okay, I moved over from business admin or from accounting to IT, and this is the bridge. This is the certification that helped me cross over.
Sorry, good evening, sir.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So I'm in the US and I'm a project manager here. So I'm in the
Okay.
tech and everything that Mr. Akin, I don't know him, right? So everything I said is right. Forget about certification. I'll say just focus on this course and getting a job. The most important thing is recruiters are going to ask you questions. All you need to do is answer those questions, give them real life examples, and the job is yours. So forget about, I want to write this exam or whatever. Let's just focus on this course. And trust me, I'm in tech. There is a lot of money there. So I just decided I wanted to be like more technical. That's why I decided to become a cloud engineer. And that's why I joined this class. So I would just say, don't worry about those certifications. Let's just focus on, tapping into his knowledge and, getting something out of it. That would be my suggestion for everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Aregbesola, good evening. So I just wanted to, Gabiola, I just wanted to clear my understanding. You said class is going to be Monday, Wednesday for this course, and then for AWS, Tuesdays and Thursdays starting next week.
That's right.
Okay. And in order to access that, we just pay $100, right? In
order to access, the Linux is free, but if you want support and manual and access to video, yeah, pay $100.
Okay. So
for the other one is $600. For AWS, $600.
And it's starting already. It's starting in August, not in September anymore.
We have one starting in September that is constant. But like I said, if you people are here not for Linux, but for AWS, in fact, at least some of them have actually registered. So we'll have one class starting in August, and then we'll have another one starting in September.
Okay, so would you advise to do Monday, Wednesday for the Linux, and then Tuesday, Thursday for AWS?
The advice will not be general. Some of you are completely new to IT, so focus on Linux and get the best out of that before you make up your mind.
Okay, all right. So start just this month and then start AWS next month.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. K.
Yeah. How much longer until we learn Linux?
Good evening. Who is talking? Alexander.
When are we going to start learning Linux, please, sir?
When are we starting Linux?
Yeah.
This is Linux class now. We started Linux today.
Mr. Akin, this is
Mr. Akin.
Hello, Okere.
Yeah, hello, Okere.
This is Taiwo.
Hello, Taiwo, hold on. Hello, Okere.
Okay.
I just want to, can you hear me, Mr. Akin?
Komi, Ola Komi.
Yes, this is me.
What are you doing here?
Well, Linux bring me here, and I just want to, I see people have been asking some questions, like dragging you back, and I just want to tell them all those questions they're asking, they don't need it. They just have to leave you because they got a lot of things to learn. I met Mr. Akin last year, and I took his class, and before I finished his class, I got a job. I've been doing, like right now, I'm doing developing, coding, and things like that, and in my day-to-day job, I need Linux. Sometimes I open like Google side by side with what I'm doing. So like I'm coming back to Linux like to learn how this works. So one thing I'm just gonna advise everybody, just sit back and just listen to him. Just let him drive you. Asking these questions back and forth is just gonna take your time. At the end of the day, we're not learning anything. So let's just leave him to drive the boat. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Akin.
Yeah, awesome,
Hi.
awesome. Please hold on, Adi. Hello, okay. You didn't tell them where you're from. I mean, where you work and what you're doing.
You want me to put all that out there?
Yeah, so that they will know.
I am actually a developer with Amazon. And before I did this with Mr. Akin, like I wasn't like doing like no knowledge about this. So he was the one who like he took me like from scratch to like what I'm doing right now. And to even buttress a point, there was a guy who, so I think he saw your advert. And the guy reached out to me, like, you know, he actually works, he's an elderly guy. He actually works with Amazon too. And he was like, he saw my name. So he was like, I'm going to check if this guy is saying the truth or not, like if Mr. Akin is real or not. So he went to Amazon portal. There's a way you can check all Amazon employees. So he saw my name and he was like, oh, this Mr. Akin. I said, whatever he tells you, just do it. He's real. I'm here today because of him. So just listen to him. And I was just, when you were checking the SD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's actually my role. But I don't just want to say anything. I just, you know, I just have people like talking, just let him take the wheel. And, you know, I can tell, like, with what he's teaching right now, it's different for everybody. He might teach you within 2 months, you get a job. You just, whatever he's teaching now, go back and just build on it. Self-develop. He can teach you for 2 years. If you're not developing on it, nothing is going to happen. You know, whatever I teach you, go back. I can tell you 2, 3, 4 months, you're just going to be out there doing wonders. So just leave him, let him drive the boat. Thank you.
Awesome. Good to
Hi,
have
Mr.
you.
Akin.
Hello, here is one
Good
of
evening.
our testimonies. You know,
You can
on
hear
our
me.
approach, we say we have about 10, 12 testimonies there.
Hi.
He wants to share with you.
I hope I
Nice to
can
have
say
you.
something
Thank you
real
for that.
quick.
Yeah. All right.
Can
So
I say something real
Mo
quick?
Ade wants to say something.
Hi, Mr. Akin.
Hi, Mr. Akin.
Yeah.
Good evening. So I just got the information today from my husband. So I'm kind of, he just said, just log in and try to just listen, because I scheduled my AWS exam for right before the 29th rollover, but I wanted to join the class. Should I just postpone the exam and finish the class with you first?
Yeah, that would definitely be beneficial. Why not finish the class
with
you?
you then?
Are you sure? Are you confident of passing the exam even without the class? Because the class is practical. Some certification is different from. It's not.
It has been self-taught, but because I have IT background, but it has been self-taught. But I mean, I don't know. I've done the practitioner one, so but I'm just trying to do the next one before I actually do the.
Yeah, it's just $150, right? Maybe you should try it, and then if it doesn't work,
I don't want to. I think I just want to take your class first and see. Okay.
Okay, because it's really hard for me to say. I don't know your.
My confidence.
Yeah.
So
I've not interviewed you. We've not really interacted, so it's hard for me to say. Maybe just give it a try, like okay, and if it doesn't work, 150, another 150. That's lunch money.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
But how do I register for your class? Like, because I'm getting this information really fresh. So
I will share just theITern.com, but we'll share this video and then take time to watch this video all over, and then you see where. Are you seeing the Word document, by the way?
Yes.
I'll show that one more time. Yeah, theITern.com.
Yes. Are you going to share that?
Yeah, I'll share that.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Akin.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat in the same level with her. Is it possible for us to negotiate for a dump, to get a dump? I talked to you offline about that issue, and
I'm a trainer. My interest is to develop my train, so I cannot make the extra thing the primary thing. It's not professional. So if you just want to get dumps and parts, there are
the dump will really help you, because you really need the knowledge. The knowledge, because it's so you have to be practical.
So practicing with dump to pass the certification is one thing, but really practically and seeing how this thing deploys from server to server is a different thing. So it depends on that. Olakomi has already told me. I mean, he's talking from experience. So the best thing would be, why don't you just focus on the training and get the best out of the training?
I am going to take
maybe you should relax on the exam. We shouldn't actually be discussing exam when we have not even done training at all.
Hey, excuse me, that's not my point. My point, I've done the training. I was just talking about the dump, and I'm still going to take the training. That's not the problem. But I want to try to do the training before it rolls over. Take the exam before it rolls over. And if there's something we can do to at least get the AWS before it rolls over, I have no problem taking my goal is to take the DevOps class and the Linux class, but I want to take the exam before it rolls over. That was my problem, and I think I'm in the same position with her. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 8:19 is already past. It's supposed to be for 2 hours. I hope you just enjoy today as an interaction day, because once training starts, we will not have this leisure.
Hi, Mr. Akin, please.
I have a question, man.
Yeah, Arinze, go on.
Okay, my question is this, during the class, are we going to have like a virtual lab for practical?
Virtual lab. We are going to cloud straight. We are doing the real practical. There's no simulation.
Okay. Okay,
so
so
we're not doing simulation, virtual. We are going into cloud. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's one. Then secondly, you made mention of because I'm in UK, and you said for the UK that we need to join the US class. I don't know how we're gonna do that. We send link privately, or how do you identify those that are joining you from the UK?
I don't know. I don't need to know where you are joining from. Why is that important?
Yeah, you said that for those joining from Nigeria, that is going to be a different stuff.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that, but I don't think we have enough Nigerians now to.
All right.
Well, I think we should take a poll on Nigeria, to identify how many Nigerians are in here at the moment, so we'll know if that could be possible.
My people, do you know that you are wasting your time, the time that we should be using to learn Linux? That's what we're just wasting, talking non-relevant things here. We should be talking about the technical training and how to get to the
Okay,
Mr.
Akin,
sorry,
can I just suggest?
Don't worry about suggestion. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Can I say something, Mr. Akin?
Just mute everyone.
Okay, so
just mute everyone.
I think
Mr. Akin, mute everybody and continue the class.
Don't tell us where you come.
Please mute all of us, sir. Please mute all of us.
Mute everybody and continue the class.
I'm connected from space.
I have a question about Linux.
Let me mute.
Can we just stop the question and continue this class? It's taking enough time.
Yes. Yeah, don't worry. I'm in control. Don't worry about it. It's just the first day. Let everybody relax. And I will not have the opportunity of getting to meet you once class starts. So it's okay for us to relax a little, but don't just push it too hard. I mean, just ask questions that are beneficial to everyone. Don't make questions to. There are things that are private to you, that are peculiar to your own situation. Then we can deal with that outside. So for class, ask questions that everybody can answer. It's just 2 hours. So, but again, today is just the first day. It's okay to relax a little bit. So don't be too hard on those other people. But yeah.
So how long is the classes going for? This like the course, each class. How long is the duration of each class? The 2 hour classes, 1 hour.
All right. So we'll take more questions.
Oh, excuse
Okay,
me.
I have Mr. Atkins, I have a question.
No, please hold on.
Okay.
Please do not unmute yourself until I mention your name. If I see your hand raised, and then I can take your question. Okay, let's be ordered so that we are not. All right. All right. Let's start with Fulu, and then after Fulu, Olakomi, are you still raising your hand? After Fulu, Olakomi, if you are raising your hand, then Olatunde, then Yomi. All right, Fulu first.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Fulu, and my question, Gudos. Are you teaching us the Linux and the Red Hat 7 and 8?
Don't worry about it. When we get into Linux, because your colleagues don't even know whether there's Linux, Red Hat, or so
Okay,
let's not.
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When we get there, we'll know. All right. Who was supposed to be there? Olatunde. So many hands.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Mr. Akin, good evening.
Evening.
Yeah, I know, like, I just want to say something real quick. Like, I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about, and that was the kind of person I was some months back. I actually know Olakomi personally, and what he told me then was like, just all the questions you have right now, and just keep it to yourself and listen real good. And I'm gonna tell you, with all the classes that you have, whenever you had your YouTube open for us to be able to view some of the lectures and all that actually really helped me out a lot. And whatever question you have, just let him teach. And all that questions are gonna be answered while he's teaching. So that's all I have to say.
Awesome, thank you. Yomi?
Thank you very much, everyone. My name is Yomi Oderinde. I am in US. I have a background in computer science, and I joined this class via a friend of mine that asked me to, that this is one of the best classes I could join. So, but I log into this class with like about 45 minutes to the class, then I was logged out. And I try everything to get into the class. I couldn't get in until now. I just tell myself, let me give it a try again. I just want to. I was thinking, what could happen?
We had issues initially, so I had to upgrade the account to accommodate more than 100 persons.
Oh.
And then we started like because once we had up to 100, it disconnected the so the people that tried to do thereafter. So we had issues, then we resolved them. We were able to come back.
Thank you very much. I just want to ask, in case anything happen like that, it will be better if we can get a message. I just to say, oh, this class, I did not go to work today because of it. I don't want to mix out at all. That's why I said, oh, let me try my luck again. And boom, I find myself in. So I just want to thank you.
We resolved the issue that we had. Yeah. There will not be issues again.
So then my second question is, we're over 200 in this class. How are you planning to divide us?
This is free training. So even if we are 1,000, it will have to be like that. So for paid training,
all right. Thank you very much.
For paid training to be 50 people, man. Please mute yourselves.
Yeah. Okay, it's just for.
Man, that noise was so much. All right, let's do a bit more before we go now, so that you go on the note of at least you've learned something today. All right, so let me share mine. What can you see? Can you see my blank screen or my Word document? Let's do IT
screen.
Oh, blank screen.
The blank screen, yeah.
All right, so let me explain IT infrastructure in terms of computer, server, cable, wireless, router, LAN, then at least you'll be going home with something today. All right, let's start training. Let me minimize all this. Okay, you can still see my blank screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can see.
All right, let's go now. So when you have a computer, I represent a computer by that. And then you put your operating system. Operating system is the #1 software that you must have in a computer before you can do anything. Otherwise, your computer is just another machine. It's not a computer. So your hardware, which is the physical part of your computer, what you actually touch to say, I have a computer, and then you point to your computer, that's the hardware. Must work with your software. Software is anything, any program that is running on the hardware together to form your computer. And these days, when we say computer, it could actually be laptop, desktop, mobile phone. I mean, it comes in, even your refrigerator these days could be a computer or your vehicle. All right. So when you have this, then you say you have a computer. This computer will be standalone if it is not connected to any other computer. So you are just using it for word processing, your Excel job, your personal job like typewriter. It's not connected to any other computer. In that case, you say it is standalone. And in this modern world of Industry 4.0, this is useless. It's just like having a mobile phone that is not connected to the internet. You know, a mobile phone becomes 1,000 times more powerful when it's connected to internet and you can download and use all your apps. Otherwise, it's just for sending messages and receiving calls. It is far from adequate. In the same vein, I'll have to stop people from entering now so I can focus on training. I can't be as the last person I'll allow to. All right. So, once this computer is connected one way or the other to other computers, when I say one way or the other, I actually mean that it can be connected through cables called wired or without cables called wireless. Then you say you have a network. So in other words, you can have a computer here, another computer there, another computer there, and so on and so forth. When this happens, this computer is no longer standalone. It is now interconnected with other computers. When you have this situation, instead of saying standalone, you now call it computer network. All right? But again, this is the traditional way, the old way of doing things, where you could, well, sometimes you still have this at home, where you actually have your computer most times connected wirelessly to, but when you have a situation like this, when there is a service here, maybe for example, internet is connected to this computer. And therefore, in your bedroom, number one, bedroom number two, your living room upstairs, and so on and so forth, for them to connect to the internet, they need to be connected to this computer so that they can fetch internet from that computer. So when you have a computer that other computers rely on for service, you call this computer that is providing that service a server. Typically, or in configuration, it may not be different from the other ones, but it's just that it's providing the other ones with a service, in this case, your internet, all right? So to differentiate this one that is a server from this one that is receiving, we either call this one computer compared to that one, or in some cases, especially for corporate networks, we call this one the client. So when we say client server network, we are saying that it is a network arrangement where one computer is a server and another computer is a client, depending on relying on the service that is coming from the server. So that one could be client one, client two, client three, and so on and so forth. So broadly speaking, for a computer to be a server, to be able to service other computers, then you would normally have a kind of operating system here called a server operating system. And then for this one to be client, to receive from that server, you would have a kind of operating system here called a client operating system, or simply operating system, client OS. For corporate networks, what do I mean by corporate network? By corporate network, I mean basic networks that are not so big, just for small office, home office, or small networks. So if you have a room and you have a network of computers within a room, then you call that kind of small network a local area network. Local area network. So let's say I have a room or even a building, not just a room. Let's say I have a building and then I have one computer, two computers, three computers, four computers. Maybe you have an access point in the middle, and then this is wirelessly connected to wireless connection, wireless connection, wireless connection. So all these four computers are connected together within a building. You call this kind of network local area network. All right. If this local area network now has a server, remember what a server is? It now has a computer that is running a server operating system. For example, Windows Server. Windows Server operating system. So once it has a server operating system, whereas these other ones are running client operating system, maybe Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 9, or whatever. Let us say Windows 10, Windows 11. This Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 11, they are not server operating system. They are the client version of Windows Server. So this, by that one, you know that this is a client, this is a client, this is a client, this is a client, this is a server. When you have a local area network where there is a server operating system running on at least one computer and all other ones running client operating system, we call this kind of local area network corporate network. An example of this would be networks that run in banks. So banks and corporate organizations, they run corporate networks. So they are small networks, just within a building, typically. All right? This is not the real thing. This is just building, taking it from scratch so that we know where we are coming from. So for corporate networks, what you need to do to learn, to be able to work in this kind of environment, is you need to learn how Windows Server operating systems work. And of course, everybody should know how Windows work because we all work with Windows operating system, or maybe Mac, or more commonly Windows. So that is not something you learn specially, but what you learn specially is how your Windows Server operating system works, so that you're able to manage all of these 4 computers from here. You are able to create user accounts and manage the different, in fact, you're able to know everything to secure and manage this network. When you learn Windows Server operating system enough to be able to manage this entire network, even though I'm just saying 4 here, in operations, they may be up to 50, 200, 300, and so on and so forth. It's still the same thing, it's still all. When you do that and you know enough to be able to, you know enough of Windows Server to be able to manage corporate network, we call you a Windows Server administrator. All right? This kind of job is no longer common because everybody is moving to cloud now. So this is not it's not really common. Maybe out of 100 IT jobs, maybe 1 or 2 will be related to managing small networks, the capacity of Windows Server administrator. So for this reason, we are no longer starting with Windows Server. We used to teach you how to manage small companies, but having been to so many interviews on your behalf, nobody really wants this. However, it's okay for you to know that this exists and that the bigger networks are built. The bigger networks are built around this concept. All right. So what I need you to remember here, what I need you to take from here is that there is something called local area network. That's basically a connection of multiple computers within a building. When that one or more systems within that local area network is running a Windows Server operating system, then like this one, then you call that local area network your corporate network. All right. Examples of companies that run corporate networks are banks and other small organizations. Once you see a building, even if the building is 7 stories, 21 stories, as long as it's a single building and all the computers there are connected to one another in the network, then that is a corporate network. What makes it corporate is the presence of your Windows Server. All right, that is just for knowledge purpose. Now, where the money actually begins to come in, where you begin to say, yes, I'm an IT person and I'm looking for work, is your ability, when you have the skill now, to connect this corporate network to another corporate network, to another corporate network, to another corporate network, so that you now have many corporate networks interconnected, networked together. When you have many corporate networks now networked together to form a single network, then you have a bigger kind of network that is called enterprise. All right. So if you are talking about, I have an office in Dallas, I'm going to the office to work, then that office is corporate network. But if you are saying, I have an office in Dallas. The company also has an office in New York. They have another office in California, and then another office in Ohio. And then you are working at the level where you are seeing all of these networks and managing all of them together. Then you are no longer talking at the level of corporate network. You are now talking at the level of what? Enterprise. So the person who is managing a network from this corporate place compared to the person who is managing this entire enterprise network, this guy is doing a bigger job and is paid higher than this guy that is doing a small job. All right? So for this kind, to run this kind of network and manage it, you need your server operating system. But to run this kind of enterprise network and manage it, your Windows Server operating system will not do. What you need for this kind of big network is a Unix-based operating system. Specifically, I mean Linux. So as somebody who knows Linux, you are bigger than somebody who will work in enterprise, in a corporate network. You are at the level of working with enterprise. You are working on big networks. And the operating system that manages all the computers and all the users on this big network is Linux operating system. So as somebody who, since you are going to learn Linux operating system and come out a Linux system administrator, then you'll be fit to work in corporate networks. Another interesting thing, in fact, very, very important part of corporate network is that it is not just connecting the local area networks of the respective offices. It is also integrating mobile devices. For example, a telecom company with millions of subscribers will be connected to this, might be connected to this same network. So in addition to managing the corporate offices, which is small task, you're actually managing 3 million T-Mobile customers, 400 million T-Mobile customers, and so on and so forth. All of them managed from a single, well, maybe not a single, but multiple servers running Linux operating system. So this is your place now and your role and the possible places you can work as somebody who is very good with Linux. It means that you can work on big networks, not just small networks. So as a Linux expert, they call you to come and work in a corporate network of a bank. No, that's too small for you. You say, no, go and hire somebody who knows Windows Server operations. All right? So for this one, you are working for big companies. Now I mentioned big companies. All the companies that you know are big. All the enterprise networks, whether it's T-Mobile, I mean, all the telecoms companies, first of all, they are. And then any company that is not just local to a state, but represented across multiple nations or multiple states is automatically an enterprise. All right. So you want to learn how to use Linux operating system to manage all of the local area networks as well as this. But there is something bigger than enterprise network before I allow you to ask questions. Now, when you are talking about all of this network, you still need to physically connect them, right? Connect them, set up infrastructure here. When I'm saying all of this kind of this is an infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, your switch or your access point here is an infrastructure. This computer is an infrastructure. This server is an infrastructure. This cable that you use to connect, all of this infrastructure. All right. So in enterprise networks, we are still dealing with infrastructure. But there is a bigger thing, like we mentioned earlier on. It is called cloud. There's no space for me to put one. Okay, let me just put it. So cloud. So what does that mean? It means that all of this physical infrastructure can be collapsed and made virtually available here. All of this physical infrastructure can be collapsed, can be done away with and represented here. This one can be done away with and represented here. So that instead of all of this physical infrastructure, you now have the virtual representation of all of this. This server is now available here. and you have access to it to do its work. This server is now available here. It will do its work just like this physical would have done. And this one is now available here. And all of these are now networked together in cloud. And instead of having physical locations and physical infrastructure, you now have them all represented in cloud. But you will still need this Linux operating system knowledge to manage all of them. So what we'll be learning now is not physical servers anymore, located in Dallas, Frankfurt, in New Jersey, and different places, but now virtual servers named Dallas, Frankfurt, New Jersey, New York, represented here in cloud, and still doing the work that these ones would have done. And then you are now the person managing all of this network from your Linux operating system. This is what we want to teach. So this is why we no longer call it enterprise management. We now call it cloud server management using Linux operating system. All right? Questions now. Questions around this, not any other thing. So first of all, do you see the place of Linux here and what you are trying to learn and what you are trying to become? And then how do you differentiate an enterprise network from a corporate network? What operating system do you use for enterprise network? Is it the same operating system that you also use to manage your questions around that area? And then once we are done with these questions, take them, spend the next 15 minutes answering them, we'll be done for the day. And then we'll continue on. All right, questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay, I know Linux is a big thing, but are there alternatives to Linux operating system?
Not very many, to be honest. Not very many. So at the enterprise level, when you talk about operating system, Unix is the first thing that comes to mind. However, other companies may have Linux-like operating system that have been customized, that has been built specifically for them, proprietary. Whereas Linux is open source, anybody can have access to Linux. Somebody can take Linux and customize it the way they want and make it proprietary and call it a different name. So you may have a Apple kind of Linux, and then instead of calling it Linux, they now call it a different name, HP kind of Unix, and then they call it their own name. But it's at the end, the kernel, the origin of the operating system is always Unix. Depending on how you now build the shell around it, it will be different. So to ask, I'm not sure, I'm sure I'm making things more complex, but basically what I'm saying is you could call the other operating system different names, but fundamentally it's the same Linux, the same Unix.
Thank you.
If you want to say how many operating systems do you have, you may mention 3: Windows kind of operating systems, Linux kind of operating systems, and Mac kind of operating system. But Mac is proprietary to Apple, so it's not general. So you want to focus on the ones that are general, which is Linux and Microsoft. Are there different varieties of Linux called distributions? Because every time you change the core of, no, the core is the same. Every time you change the shell, you call it a different name. I can change the shell to say, instead of CD, I want to be using MD, and then I call it Akin Linux. Yes, there are over 100 different kinds of Unix called different distributions of Unix. So in that case, you could have a Ubuntu Linux. Somebody was talking about Ubuntu Unix, Amazon Linux, Red Hat Linux. But they are not really important because, like I said, they are fundamentally the same. SUSE, you will see them when we get to class. SUSE Linux and so on and so forth. They are all Linux, just different varieties of different distributions. All right. So once you are done with Unix, like you will see in cloud, because we are going to use, okay, at this level, we may just focus on one, but by the time we go into DevOps proper, we want to at least play around with at least 3 different types of Linux. And then you'll be good enough to say I know Unix, because you see that they are not very different. Yes. Oh, sorry, I keep saying Unix, Linux, Unix. They are used interchangeably. So bear with me. If instead of expecting to hear Linux, you hear Unix, yeah, it's allowed for me to use the interchangeable, but I want to really focus on it. All right, next question.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, is there any difference between the Linux and the Unix?
Okay, this is the original operating system from which this one came out. But now they are more, they are so similar that you can hardly say there's a difference. But this was the original operating system from where this one was born. All right, just say this the original language from which this dialect came out, and then this dialect became so popular that this is what everybody is speaking now.
Now, yeah. All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, according to what you said about server OS, when it comes to the old version of the network, when you say like this is a window that serve the other one for the local access network. You understand?
Look, yeah, what's your question?
Yeah, the beginning from here now, that is not on Linux no more, right?
For corporate network, once you move above local area networks to enterprise networks, I mean, when you move beyond corporate enterprise network, we are moving from Windows Server to Linux.
To enterprise.
Yes.
That okay. From enterprise to cloud, that's where we started using Linux, right?
No. We started using Linux here. Look at
from enterprise network.
Yes.
Okay.
Started using Linux in enterprise network. And that same Linux, like we use it in enterprise network, is equally applicable to cloud network. We use Linux for both enterprise and, in fact, and cloud. Cloud is actually enterprise as well. It's just that so enterprise is another name for big networks. Most networks are big, we call them enterprise. So whether they are big physically or they are big virtually, they are enterprise.
Okay, for cloud, right?
I don't know what you mean by for cloud. So your enterprise, this is enterprise network, even if it was physically, even if the infrastructure were physical. And this is also enterprise networks, even though the infrastructure are virtual in cloud. But don't let me confuse you. Don't worry about enterprise. But your question is, the answer to your question is we use Linux both for enterprise and for cloud.
That's it. That's what I want to know. Yeah. Thank you. Because I know for this local one, like for the banks or for corporate one, for the local ones, you said, I know that you didn't say anything about Linux over there because it's an old technology, like old version of it, because people doesn't really use it more. Because we are now emphasizing on the Linux on enterprises going to cloud. Right?
All right, let's just leave that there. We have not really started. By the time we start, everything will be making sense.
Okay.
Yes, any other question?
Quick question, sir.
Before I ask you questions, yes.
I don't know if this has to do, but are you going to teach us bash scripting, or is that what Terraform would do, or?
Yeah, we'll do a bit of bash scripting in cloud, in Linux and cloud, yeah.
Okay, that was
Linux
just my question.
and cloud, yeah.
Bash scripting, quick question, sir.
Yeah.
The enterprise or network is housed in a data center, right?
Yes, enterprise could be housed in a physical data center. Yes.
So what happens when the data center goes down?
Then the whole enterprise goes down, because that's where the infrastructure is. Even cloud also has a data center behind it. If the data center goes down, like it has done with Amazon in the last couple of months. Yeah. Yes. Then the whole cloud also goes down. So the data center is the backbone of cloud. Anything happens to the data center, then cloud goes down. So that's why some companies will go as far as setting up the backup of the data center in the bottom of the sea, so that even the whole world collapses, that other ship right there will protect data.
Okay,
and the new world is formed. We continue the old life. Yes. All right. So
yeah, I have a question, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is, coming from Nigeria, I've had people pronounce this word, Linux, and here in the United States, I've had Linus, and also since we started this class, people have
Just
pronounced.
adopt my own as a trainer. Whatever I call it, just call it down. Not confuse yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
So when you mention Windows OS, I just want to know, does that mean Windows OS does not have the capability to run an enterprise network?
Yes.
Or it's just that it's not built for that purpose?
It's not built, both of them. It doesn't have, it's not built for that purpose, therefore it does not have the capability. So even though Microsoft will say, it can do it, but by the time you taste Linux and see how effectively, how smoothly, how effortlessly Linux does it, then you see that it's waste of time to begin to use your car to do the job of a truck.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
I got a question. Can you hear me?
I thought who was talking? Yeah, that's
man. Okay.
I got a question.
Good day, sir.
Who told me, hold on. That one.
Good day, sir.
We are closing in 4-5 minutes.
Okay,
Yes,
my question very quickly is there any similarity between a regular network administrator and a cloud server administrator?
Yes, there's similarity. Because it's actually the skill of a regular network administrator that we are taking into cloud. Just learn how to do it in cloud. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
If you're already regular network administrator, then it's
no. I'm just doing some basic networking essentials.
Okay. All right, fine. Now tell me, yeah.
Yeah, I got a question. You spoke something concerning switches. I wanted you to throw more light on that when you talk about switches, because I've had issues. I got into an interview and that question was asked. I actually fumbled, actually. Could not give the right
depending, so within a LAN, when we talk about a switch, what can you see this device? Let me use a different thing. Within a LAN, if we talk about a switch, we simply mean, let me clean out some of these things. So there are switches very wide, switch as a topic, but at the enterprise level, switch is different from the LAN level. Even in telecommunications, switch is different. But at the basic level, the switch will be a device that allows you to plug in cables. So the cable will run from here to one computer, cable will run from here to another computer, cable will run from here to, and so it is the device that interconnects all of this. That's a switch. Have you seen that before? Just Google switch for the image. Yeah, it's a networking device. It's an infrastructure. It can be this simple. It can be very complex. But that's for LAN. But for enterprise, for example, for telecommunications, if you say switch, it could be as complex as a server running your Linux operating system. For telecommunications. So when in GSM, we say switch room, it means the server room where your MSC is. All right, so it could be, so within what context? Depends on what switch they were talking about. Then in networking, there's switching is a full topic on its own. Switching is switching between networks. That's networking, that is CCNP. But what I need you to understand now without complicating matters is when I refer to switch within LAN, I simply means that device to which you use cable to connect all of your computers. Yeah. So it is through this device now that this computer 2 can connect with computer 1. With computer 2 to connect to computer 1 online. That's a switch. Then as we go from small networks to big networks, the meaning of switch will begin to change, and then you say, oh, okay, this is probably what they meant at that time. But basically, because we are just starting, this is just the fundamental. We don't want to confuse people. This is the switch that I refer to. All right. I think take one more question. We're supposed to do 2 hours, but we did 3 hours. It's okay.
Okay, that was my question. 3 hours. So the average class will take 2 to 3 hours.
2 hours, but
2 hours.
Today being the first time.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's about it for today. So, where is everybody?
Mr. Atkins, I have a question.
Okay.
Like for the next classes, how are we gonna are we just going to your site on Instagram to come to the link for the classes?
The same link. Like how did you come in today? The same link that you use, the same thing exact.
Okay.
The same
Thank
link
you.
will come to. You're welcome. All right, guys, that's about it for today. So as already discussed, I'll make this available. So you go to the website. Can you see? Let me share. Share this. So if you go to the website, and then you are going to see this on the website, theITern.com. theITern.com.
Okay.
Just click, watch August 1st inaugural class, and then you see this video. This video will be there.
Okay.
And then, of course, if you want to make notes, you can make notes from the video. And then for those that will be registering for one course or the other, so that the AWS we are starting on Tuesday next week, and then the people that will join the support group for $100, this is the place to go. So when you register for the appropriate thing, send me proof of payment to this GSM, this WhatsApp number, and then I will now add you to the appropriate group. So whatever information we are sharing in terms of link to this, everything will now, our communication will be through the group. For this other, for access to regular classes, there will be no further communication. Just use the same link to join classes at the application. All right, so 9 o'clock. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you so much.
We'll
Thank
see you again on
Thank you,
Wednesday.
Mr. Akin.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome,
Thank you for your
everyone.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then. Bye, everyone.
All right. Good night. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I don't mean to drag you back, sir, but how do we get the Word document? Is it with after we pay the $100?